All right, good afternoon and welcome on back here this Thursday, August 12th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, this time of the day at least, welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting. Great to see all of our students and trial members alike, including Christopher, Norman, Kathy, Kathleen, Donnie, Lori, Bobby, William, Ray, and all of us likewise inside the Cyber Group Trading Room. If you're joining us today on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube, welcome on back. So, without further ado, we'll start off with the stock on the screen here, the SESN trade. Hey, it was pushing up really nicely throughout the whole day, not only from the morning where it broke out from like 410-ish, popped up to a first high of the day right under 450, ended up breaking that high later on, and it's been smooth sailing since, maybe one or two tiny shakes, and pulling back down now after it broke out over 5. Maybe I shouldn't use the word breakout as much. I mean, it broke over the iceberg order 5. There was a big resistance that Fausto is watching with a bunch of us in a webinar just earlier. But, hey, it broke over that resistance. That doesn't guarantee continuation right out the gate. Hopefully we'll see this re-break 5 coming up in the next hour and a half from now and, see it move higher. So, for right now, easily enough, we'll start by putting this SESN trade just on our list, right? But I'll tell you otherwise, though, we're kind of finishing up earnings season here inside the Cyber Group room and really all together. But, inside our trading room, we've been following stocks all throughout the week that have been coming out with earnings reports like Fubo and AMC, XELA, JMIA. Today, we ended up seeing a couple more come out. CLOV Health or Clover, CLOV. Stock's pretty choppy right now. But this stock was moving up really nicely early in the pre-market. It seemed as if this stock would just only continue to keep on moving up. If not right out the gate, then perhaps within the first 10, 15 minutes, you'll see that move. Well, this top happened right around 9 o'clock. So to say it was trending up into the open, not exactly the right verbiage. The stock was trending down, but with that, it only continued to drop off after. There was very little buying opportunities on this trade after the market opened up. Ended up providing us a fantastic short once it broke below the 950 level and dropped all the way down towards practically 850. Ended up bottoming out right around $8.60, 858, and from there made its real, bounce or squeeze back up. But, even now, the stock's relatively choppy. I reckon it's holding over support right now, right over 910, 906. That price or those prices were really important from earlier today. So if it holds over that, perhaps there's a chance that this could run up into the close. Just, I think for the amount of volume that this stock has traded altogether, 130 plus million shares, it went down, back up. It's just choppy. I'll come back to this at the end. I'm not fully sold on putting this on our afternoon list to see this make a clean move up. But if it doesn't move today, then definitely keep it in mind for tomorrow, no matter what. This always has been a sideless stock, Clover. So if it doesn't move today, then definitely keep it in mind for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, that is. Palantir, another stock that came out with earnings this morning. This one ended up playing to our liking a lot better than that CLOV did, meaning that with good earnings, you would have expected the stock to move up at some point after the market opened up. On CLOV, it took a little while for that stock to bounce. On the PLTR trade, that bounce came a lot sooner. Ended up breaking below the 24 level. And I think it hit a low of the day like 2360 or 2362. This isn't to pat myself on the back. Honestly, this is more to say I left so much money on the table on this trade, folks. But the point of this story here is to tell you how preparation can pay off. So I wrote this earlier today. I was saying be careful around the 24 level. You want to make sure if this breaks over 24 to see the same type of buying or similar buying that we had here early in pre-market. I ended up getting in this trade not at 24. I actually got in at the next level below that point. I practically got in off the low of the day. I was in basically from 2362 or 2361 itself. I saw another level down below from pre-market. I took a chance on a half-size position, ended up flying all the way up. I ended up getting out at like 2415, 2412. I thought it was going to come back down and shake a bit, but damn, I should have stayed in that trade. Ended up blasting over 24, moving all the way up towards the high of the day, 25.76. It got really dicey and shaky, though, as it was pushing up, though. Off such a big pop, you would have expected a bit of consolidation around 24.50 or maybe even under from pre-market levels. But it kept going up. But for as much as it went up, you saw the shakes. They did come into play here later on, but it contained itself. It managed this trend up towards the high. And right now, like the CLOV trade, just given the amount of volume the stock has traded across the whole day, I wouldn't expect for there to be as much movement comparative to what we had from earlier on this morning. All right. If there is a level to watch on this trade, I would say it would be right off 25. I know one of our students, Donnie, called out a big iceberg order just a moment ago. You could see the volume spike here. So, I'll put this on the side too. I'll come back to this like I will with CLOV. If this ends up blasting over 25 during this meeting, I'll jump right to it and perhaps we'll put it on our list at that point. All right, so those were the main two coming off of earnings. I don't think Space was earnings from last night or today. I think they already reported, right? But we only continued to see them drop off early in pre-market. This is just another stock that was on our morning watch list here today and only continued to drop off again. So, it took a little while, but it ended up breaking lower later on, right around 26.40, 26.35-ish. And since has just been smooth sailing, like I'd said. So, yeah, this Space trade, definitely more interested given that is closer to its low of the day, still trending down nicely. It does seem as if, and I could tell this from two different manners here, it looks like there was a lot of volume filled exactly at 2:12 Eastern time, but I'm going to shoot from the hip and say a lot of that was filled right from 25.75. Just looking at the histogram here on the matrix, I could try and go back through the tape. I don't think it's going to let me go back that far. It will not. But I would assume that given that we have a lot of volume that was already filled off 25.75, for that to be a smaller, more interim resistance. And right now, it's basically there now. So if you're short on this trade already, you need this to hold and drop off much sooner than later. If you're looking for a dead cat bounce, this could be a level to watch. But if it snaps right back below it, be careful. So, yeah, Space, I don't mind putting this on the main list for right now, Space trade. All right, so we did trade a couple of other stocks from today. PBTS, we had the AHPI stock on the pre-market list. Open was also one. Let me go to Open here quickly. I would have went to that as we go down from top to bottom in a moment, but I may as well talk about this Open trade because as you could see, it is running back up really nicely. It was trending up all throughout the day and heading into this afternoon. So, obviously we had our focus on this going into this meeting, and now that it's back over 18 or at least, testing 18 again, perhaps we could begin to see a higher low build and then to see another shot up here. So the Open trade, just wanted to mention, we would have found this anyway, number 6 on the gainers list. Just put this on our list too. All right. So we got 3 so far to start this list. And what we'll do now is go from top to bottom. The PBTS trade, not on our list. It doesn't seem like it will be, at least. But stock ended up making a nice little pop after the market opened up. A lot of consolidation in the pre-market trading hours. But, once the market opened up, it took off. Ended up making a nice pop from 175 up towards practically 225, right? Basically false broke it going into the afternoon and came back down. So, it's just very choppy. I'm not really too interested in this yet for the afternoon. But I know a couple of us were able to get in off the market open here within the first 5 to 10 minutes. This took off really nicely. All right. What's this, folks? Why is IEC up right now? I want you to tell me. We talked about this in this afternoon meeting, probably last week it was. Lose track of my days every now and then. But what's the news on this stock? Why are we not trading it? Jason says buyout. I would assume, I have not checked Benzinga Pro, but I say it all the time here where, if you happen to see a stock gapping up in pre-market, if it's trading a ton of volume and the stock is completely, utterly flat, I would bet my life savings on buyout. So it was earnings. IEC Electronics Q3 EPS misses, the sales miss also, but trading higher after the company reported a merger deal with Creation Technologies for $15.35 in cash per share. There we go. All right, so we keep it going here. XONE, interesting name. I guess stock ended up popping going into the early parts of the afternoon. Ended up making this, nice run up. It looks like going back into the beginning of this year. Normally, I would just, be very quick and say, yeah, we traded that stock back then. I really don't remember us ever calling out XONE, to be honest with you. So, we're not really too familiar with this stock. This stock has traded, several days over 1 million shares, 5 million share days. So Maybe we did call it out. I forgot. I highly doubt that, though. It's to say that given that we are relatively unfamiliar with this trade, I wish it had more volume on the book. If this had a much more liquid order book, I would be more interested in it. Like this NAOV trade. So Mitch Connor, welcome back, Mitch, on our YouTube stream. He ended up just calling out the NAOV stock right now. So nice call out from Mitch. We'll definitely put that on our list here, the NAOV. And we had this on our list yesterday or the day before. I know we had this on our afternoon list at one point this week, or maybe last week. Hell, it's almost like every day or every other day. NAOV is going to be on our watch list. I'm scrolling up on our chat board right now. I actually put this on our afternoon list a week ago from today. So, August 5th, this was on our afternoon list, and it was on our list sporadically. But, stocks pushing up pretty nicely, a little choppy minute by minute, but steady trend up off the lows. And Mitch, I don't know if you see that there, but you got a 60,000 share iceberg order right at $3.20. So I would assume for that to be your major resistance there. All right, so good call from Mitch. All right, so let's see what else we got. Open and SESN. I mean, both of those are already on our watch list here. There's Open, broke out over 18, so not much of a need for a higher low yet when this is just blasting on up, right? SESN back to 5. Do I just call this meeting as is, folks? Do we just call the meeting? We got 4 stocks right now. That's it. I'm pretty content. No, we got to go through more. We got to see if there's more opportunities. Who knows? You might have the SESN, dud out later and that not provide as much opportunity. I mean, it's a good start, that's for sure. Patrick asking the XONE trade, can that be easily confused with U1? Yeah, I mean, with anyone with trader's dyslexia like myself, for sure. I mean, just go back to the KNBE trade. I'm like slightly embarrassed that this even happened, but it's just the case. We saw this stock run up today, and I swear to you, for the life of me, I thought this stock was not KNBE. I thought it was KNEE as in knee. I was making a joke saying we got the stock eyes, we got the stock ears, now we got the stock knee. So yeah, trader's dyslexia certainly exists, Patrick. That's for sure. All right, so we keep it going. I don't want to confuse anyone though with all these tongue twister stocks, so we're not going to go into that really. Going to confuse myself more. AMTX pushing up a little bit. Made higher lows, has yet to break out over 11 again, but spreads aren't bad. It's only trading about 2,000, 2,500 shares per minute, which is pretty bad. So pass. AMRN, Amarin back in play. I mean, hey, if you've been in this trading room, or if you're just a consistent, or if you're a day trader, active trader who is here at the market near every day, and if you've been doing this for a number of years, perhaps, then you'll remember certain names, and just easy for me to say, hey, AMRN. And I got to probably even go back further, so maybe not as prepared. But we ended up trading the stock back in either 2017 or 2018. Ended up making this monster gap up right here. And with a gap like that and the ensuing run after, it's like you're not going to forget this type of trade. So AMRN has been on our side list on and off over the years. So we're very familiar with this stock. The stock has great liquidity, great spread, consistently tight. Right now has been pushing up really well up until now. You know what? I am a little curious just to check. Just doesn't make me buy or sell at a specific time or price, but just want to check out if there's any news on this trade, AMRN. So it was earnings based from, well, no. Scratch that. That was from August 5th. August 5th, Thursday, AMRN did earnings, but I don't really see any other headline out for this trade. I was just curious. That's fine. But yeah, for right now, AMRN, I don't mind putting this on our list. Hopefully there's another run to it. If not today, then perhaps we'll check in with it tomorrow. But, perhaps this will be the higher low point, and then we'll see it squeeze back up. All right, SCLB also at the highs, like kind of low volume per minute. INO, though, I know is not. This stock is really strong right now, trading about 34 to 36,000 shares per minute on average. Just look at this trend right now as it bounced from 930-ish all the way back up to the high. You could see the iceberg order on the ask at $10, an 84,000 share seller. So definitely this is on our list. This gets put near the top, if anything, the INO trade. All right, cool. Oh, geez. So, Norman, you really weren't just saying SENS just to kid around, were you? And we were talking about the tongue twister stocks, right? And we have SESN already on our watch list. Are you kidding me? This SENS is still, this one's also pushing up. Oh man, just make sure you know what stock you're trading. That's all. But both seem to be more level one. Holy smokes. SESN. Just make sure that these are two separate stocks here, right? SESN, SENS. I'll tell you what, Fausto's got worse traders dyslexia than me. Thank God he's not doing this meeting. All right, so we keep it going here. The CLOV trade just flat and choppy. I'll be interested in this tomorrow, definitely. PLTR, same thing. If this could break over 25 later today, different story, but it doesn't seem like it wants to do it just yet. Array. This one we have traded over this week, and otherwise it's a familiar name here and there. But stocks at the highs, it's really slow. But perhaps we'll see this make one final push. There hasn't been a whole lot of volume traded above 17. If anything, there hasn't really been a whole lot of volume traded at 17. Really, 1690 shows more volume traded off of throughout the consolidation earlier than there was at 17 here. But yeah, given the trend up, kind of like the AMRN trade, I'll put this kind of near the bottom of our list. At least in terms of the trend up, looks nice. And with the last hour left in the day, that's where you really want to see one more push. So it's good time. It's good. Good place, good time. Hopefully, we'll see this make a more volatile push. All right, so round up the gainer side here, and I will say it this time because the SPY is up, and away. We would find more typically on the gainer side on a day like today than we would on the loser. So see if there's anything else. Fossil, a little choppy here. It's at the highs, but again, there might be a lot of stocks at the highs. We're not going to put everyone on there. And Cano, CANO. Not a whole lot there. All right, I guess we'll go over to losers. I mean, at the same point, like I said before, number 49 is up 8+%. So, folks, if there's anything that you see that's up more than like even 5% that I didn't look at, just type it in the chat board. Let me know. Ooh, GOCO here. I mean, the higher trade, HYRE from yesterday, that was like practically at the lows when we were putting this on our list going into the afternoon. It didn't really make that big push, but today it did. And actually, it's right near the lows again. So maybe we'll come back to this one also. But going back to the Joco stock, down 41+%, shortable at the lows. And this one has really good liquidity. The higher trade did not yesterday. That was pretty thin. So yeah, I like this stock, the Joco, as long as it's shortable and still dropping off. I think also all-time lows, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. All right, so we keep it going. We'll skim through the losers list here at this point pretty quick, but damn, there's actually a lot that's down really big. I mean, the top 20 are down just about 20%, each of them. Root is near the low, dropped off quite a bit, and very similar to the Joco trade, good liquidity. 20,700 share order on the bid and growing at 535. So yeah, this will make the cut for right now. Tradable, down big. Let's see if this can keep going. VRM. Maybe I got a little egg on my face with saying that we wouldn't find as much on the loser side than we would on the gainers, huh? AHT. This one's at the low of the day too. This one's also shortable. This stock had a reverse split probably a month ago, or yeah, just about. So it's actually pretty interesting because I gotta check to see, but is this stock all-time lows? Yeah, it looks like this stock's at all-time lows too. I mean, you got to go back to 2020. Looks like the low here, and factoring in the reverse split, 1270. This is at 1337 today. It hit a low of the day, or this month rather. I'm on a monthly chart, but still relatively close to all-time lows altogether on the AHT trade. So I'll slip it on here too. All right. Now at this point, I'll tell you everything else is hard to borrow or kind of just low volume or washed up. So I think that rounds out the losers list. Folks, if there's anything else, like I had said, that is up or down more than 5%, just type it in the chat board. Let me know. From Dan F, the AMC trade. Yeah, up 7+%. So like I had said, there are going to be plenty that were up that I didn't find across the top 50. But yeah, AMC getting a really nice push here. It'll be hard to not put this on our list. Just go back and forth from Brian in Cybergroup, GRWG loser. Well, from the morning, yeah, but it's like flat now. From Patrick is XB, or does it seem XBIO will hit the opening bell print price again? What's the print price at Patrick? I forgot. I don't have it on me. Was it 382? 376. I don't know. It's just too flat right now. I'm not even close to being interested in this trade either way, long or short. Cyber from Kesh. Too expensive. And Kesh, I know that you're one of our trial members, perhaps even joining us from today's event with Fausto and Tom Busby. If so, welcome aboard. And that goes that's to say the same for any of us joining us this week. But if you are a trial member joining us, and especially from Fausto and Tom's event just today, you haven't gone through any of the classes that we teach yet. So you need to make sure you go through those classes first, because this stock is way too expensive for us to consider as a day trade. $145, but not only that, the liquidity is terrible in this stock. So if you're thinking of it as a swing trade, I like that it's at the highs, but we're trying to find stocks that are more within our wheelhouse in terms of price. Normally 1 to 30. We have students here that trade much cheaper than that, like 1 to 10, 1 to 5. So, the AMRN, like Frank called out, that's already on our list. I thought it was looking pretty good, although it's starting to stall out. Perhaps you could say making a higher low, and if so, that can make for a higher high later on. That would make for a nice trade. Got ALT at the high of the day. Just got a private chat right now on the ALT, and with that, perhaps I look at AHPI, but AHPI not doing a whole lot there. All right, go back to ALT perhaps. Spreads are good. Huge iceberg order on the ask. 110,000 share iceberg at 12. If that breaks, this thing's off to the racetracks. And you have a gap fill to work with there as well. I like this stock. I'm going to put it on our list, and it's more based on the fact that we have resistance at 12 and really good volume on the book altogether. So, all right, I got to yank my own leash here and take a step back because I put too many stocks on our watch list at this point. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Oh, no. Yeah, just about 13. All right, folks, that just about rounds it up for me. Going back to YouTube really quickly, a couple questions from us there. Is PBTS going to the moon or what? Can I be honest with you? Doesn't look like it. I hate to be the bearer of bad news there, but it hasn't totally dumped off, so there's a chance. I mean, I'm not telling you that you don't have a shot, but the way it looks right now, not really looking that pretty. I certainly hope I'm wrong with that. I don't like being right with predictions like that. I like being wrong, and at least at that point we could try and jump in on the trade if it gives us the chance. From P Trader on YouTube, what do you think about FSR? Still looks weak. I agree on that. It still looks weak for sure. And we thought that this stock would make for a nice run today, if not yesterday when the news came out. Morgan Stanley ended up doing some big upgrade on them. Oh, that was back from Tuesday. But from Tuesday this week, they had a $40 price target, and even further, there's a reason why they slipped it in the headline. They said that there was a bull case scenario for Fisker for $90, as in 90. So clearly, that headline was meant to try and pump up the stock. I mean, it ended up pushing up a little bit on that Tuesday, but since has only dropped down. So yeah, not really that tradable for this afternoon. Just no trend to it, but if you're short on it, perhaps we'll see continuation going into the afternoon or going into Friday. All right, AVXL from Kesh, well, more within our price range, that's for sure, and pushing up over 8.5%. So that is not a bad call. The reason I'm not going to focus on this as much, here's the thing. Look how spotty this chart is. I call it spotty because obviously the spots, but that means points of inactivity. Points of inactivity. So I'm not a fan of seeing that as well. That means that the volume could really drop off suddenly. The stock right now is only trading 1,300 shares for every minute on average. That's very light, right? I wouldn't want to focus on this when we got the open trade still ripping up, like P Trader said on YouTube, right? So you know what, folks? We got a smorgasbord of stocks to work with here going into the final hour. So I'm going to leave it at that. For all of us on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube, I did not do this from yesterday, so I always like to do this. But if you have any personal trading questions you would like to ask me, feel more than free to do so. My email is right there. Josh@ctutrading.com. Otherwise, make sure to hit the like, subscribe, notification icon right on our YouTube channel, that being youtube.com/cybertradingu. Otherwise, if you've yet to join us live inside our trading room, like Kesh or Frank or a couple of our other trial members joining us here, Christopher M, feel free to do so by going right down to the link on the banner below of that stream there just to get yourself started. All right. So for all of us there right now, like Bonnie and Leda and Patrick, and like I said, Kesh and Christopher, everyone else alike, I'll speak to you folks coming up pretty shortly. I'll be back on the mic right around 3:30 Eastern. Take care.